We start with this breaking news. Former South African Airways board chairperson Dudu Myeni has died at the age of 60. The Jacob Zuma Foundation today announced her passing last night without providing further details. It is understood that the corruption-accused Myeni couldn't attend proceedings in court in May due to ill health. Now, at the time, she was said to be undergoing chemotherapy. Myeni was also the chairperson of the Jacob Zuma Foundation. For more reaction to this news, we're joined by SA Cabin Crew Association's advocate Chris Shabangu. Advocate Shabangu, a pleasure to have you on the program despite the circumstances. Now, with the recent passing of Dudu Myeni, what do you believe her legacy will be within the aviation industry and South African Airways specifically? Sure.
Thank you. I'm saying good afternoon to you and good afternoon to your viewers. It is a sad day. To all friends and family of Mahmoud Dudu Myeni. And I can say to you now that to us as South African Cabin Crew Association, it is quite a heartfelt really loss for us. It is quite sad. We are sad because I only found out a few minutes ago that actually she has passed on. To us, she was a phenomenal woman. Particularly for when she was at SAA as a chair there. It's really a sad moment. Her legacy to us is that really she's someone that stood for the workers at SAA, but regardless of many other things that may be said about her on the side, she's somebody that stood for the workers at SAA. We believed her, and she's one that worked with us. Actually, not just work with us, we actually, a close bond was created. Actually, I was having a conversation with her about, the politics of the country last week. Yeah. I'm surprised that, I'm saddened. We are, as South African Cabin Crew Association, saddened that she's passed on. It was unexpected. And our heartfelt condolences to her family and friends.
You describe Myeni as a phenomenal woman, but her tenure as the chairperson of SAA was marked by significant controversy, but also financial loss. How do you think her leadership style and decisions impacted the airline, but also you as employees during that period?
Look, there's never been a time that we as South African Cabin Crew Association ever came when she was chairperson at SAA and said and complained about her. Actually, I think it is time that we open up about this, that we strategize a lot with her. In terms of the losses and how the airline is running. It was the first time that we actually would have and sit down with top management and strategize for the airline. And we've always said, with regards to the losses in the airline during her tenure, that there was a lot more than just her. There were a lot of people that were surrounding her. There were a lot of investigations that we initiated as unions, particularly as SACA and NUMSA. I'm not speaking for NUMSA here. I'm just simply saying that at the time, there was a time where we initiated certain investigations that we felt were bringing the airline down at the time. And it was with her support. I remember when we had actually a case that was opened, that we opened against her. And the only reason that we opened that case against her, it was because it was only a strategic move that we could take at the time so that she can be probed, so that her colleagues can be probed. And that was strategized between us and her. So to us, she was more than just the leader in terms of what was happening. Of course, we do accept the fact that there were other, let me call them, other strategic departments that we wouldn't be part of, maybe that might have contributed to a loss, which she might have had an input on. We don't know that. We didn't know that. All we knew is that we worked very well with her. She was caring for the workers. We never had issues as unions to deal with the workers' issues while she was there. The rest was really above our pay grade. But with her as a person, we worked very well. At the end, we were friends. To this day, we were friends, and it's unfortunate that she passed away.
But Advocate Shabangu, the corruption and fraud charges against Myeni, along with her declaration as a delinquent director, have been widely publicized. What are your thoughts on how these legal battles have really shaped public perception on SAA's governance?
Look, when it comes to her charges and the findings afterwards, obviously, of her being found as a delinquent director, it's not like we agreed with it. We never did. I think the truth needs to be told. We never did. The powers that be obviously put that case, and then she lost it. It's fine. We take that. It's okay. We take it even on her behalf. But we know the truth. And the truth was that she's not the one that was supposed to have taken the fall. And I wish I could say that when she was alive. And I never got an opportunity to say that when she was alive on public platforms like this one. But at the end of the day, we never believed all of that. And I knew, and we knew, that she was trying by all means to really clear her name, even though that verdict had been given. But she was, she was ready to clear her name. Yeah. She was looking forward to clearing her name because there were a lot more people that are gallivanting, going around. They're free, but they contributed to the fall of South African Airways. But at this moment, what we're saying is that, no, what, Myeni is gone. She did her part. And yes, things were publicized about her, but we that worked with her, and you should take this from us because we were standing up for the workers. We are saying we worked very well with her. We worked beautifully with her. Yes, there were findings, legal findings that we found we can't do anything about it. Now, it doesn't mean we agreed with them because we knew where we come from. Thank you.
So as we reflect on the life and times of Dudu Myeni, a lot's been said about her close association with former President Jacob Zuma, but also her role in the Jacob Zuma Foundation, which of course has released a statement. How do you think her political connections influenced her career? But when looking at these controversies surrounding her, what do you make of that support that she got from the former president?
To us, it was not straight. Was it there? Probably it was. But it wasn't straight because the only issue that we had at the time, and the only, and I must be very, very clear here, we had no issues with it. Maybe the president at the time who trusted people or trusted the people that he trusted as the president at the time, which worked for us and for the workers at SA. It was unfortunate, really. There was a lot of sabotage, and I'm not gonna go there, but there was a lot of sabotage that was taking place around those people just because the person is appointed by President Jacob Zuma. Obviously, there was quite a lot of politics around President Jacob Zuma at the time, but did he, as the president, make a good decision around Dudu Myeni at the time? Absolutely. What was their relationship? We don't know, and we don't really care about their relationship. It does not really matter. What mattered to us was that could we have somebody that can steer this ship, was your South African Airways, to better pastures. At the time, there was just too much that was happening around her board that was surrounding her, which we know, obviously, around the people that were surrounding her, the board. So there was a lot of sabotage going on. And actually, I can tell you now, if that had been properly investigated, there were a lot of people that were supposed to be actually declared delinquent directors themselves or board members themselves at the time. And I'm sure of what I'm talking about right now. So whether she was appointed by the President Jacob Zuma at the time or president by whoever else, we were satisfied because our working relationship at the time was absolutely perfect.
So when Myeni's health issues, including her battle with cancer, they had become highly publicized and they had an impact on her ability to attend some of the court proceedings. How do you think the situation was handled by the legal system, but also looking at the media's handling of this particular story?
Look, she always felt, I can't give too much of my opinion on that because I can tell you I'm surprised that even that she was sick. She never disclosed that. And I'm talking about a person that really could speak freely to us, to me, to my colleagues. We could. She's a friend. She was a friend, a very close friend, just to surprise she was. And she never disclosed something like that. How things were handled, I can tell you on my part, and without really hoping, I'm not meddling into family, statements that they're going to make later. But I can talk about us. All I can tell you is that she was really unhappy how her case was handled, how she was viewed as a director and her closeness to the president at the time, and how it was publicized. Because then it didn't look really at what she could do. Instead, people categorized her as a Zuma person rather than her abilities to do the work. And that actually set badly with her, I can tell you that much. She really was looking forward to clearing her name. And I'm telling you this as a friend, really, conversations that we would have with her. When it comes to her sickness and the court cases that were coming, I did not know. She never disclosed to me. Neither did she disclose to even any other SACA members whom she is very close to also. She never disclosed this is what is going on. And when you call her, she would, speak. Instead, encourage us more than she would look for encouragement for us. That's why we never knew. That's why I was so shocked and surprised and saddened at the same time.
Now, Advocate Shabangu, despite the controversies, some might argue that Myeni faced a disproportionate amount of scrutiny compared to her male counterparts. What are your thoughts on gender dynamics, especially in high-profile leadership positions within South Africa?
Let me be polish. That is absolutely true. That she would have faced more scrutiny in this case, and I'm going to tell you, she would have faced more scrutiny because, as a chairperson, I understand she takes more responsibility. But the board that she had at the time, by the time that she left, I think she had very few board members. But most of the people that were in that board that resigned, they resigned because I believe, or we believe, so that I don't put myself in some kind of legal situation, that they had a lot to answer to, which she was not necessarily the only one that was supposed to answer to that. So they had a lot to answer to, and then she was left there alone. And she faced that scrutiny without any support of any board member. No one actually came to her aid at the time as a board member. Instead, she was alone. Should I say then that she was scrutinized more than other males? Of course I would. And that's what female executives does not necessarily have to be chairpersons and whatever, but female CEOs, they would face a lot of scrutiny in our country at this particular moment. It's quite sad that it's so deep into democracy, we're still facing this, but it will happen. It depends who's fighting you, who's coming from which camp they want to put down, more than the people and the companies that they run, particularly in parastatals. So women will face a lot of scrutiny from males and from the media itself. Sadly, the same media that is supposed to actually be uplifting their own women, because there's a lot of women journalists that I know as well that are supposed to be actually just report the truth rather than report the politics. Because what you report as a journalist can bring down a person, and it can end a person's career like it did Umamoto.
And finally, Advocate Shabangu, as someone deeply involved in the aviation industry, what message would you like to convey to the public, but also SAA employees, about really moving forward and rebuilding trust and stability within this airline, this troubled airline?
If we speak about the airline itself, look, the workers at the SAA, what I can tell the public, let me start with the public, categorize and start with the public. The public, you should know that you still have a very good airline, an airline that can still carry the name. This is a very popular name in the world. Not just in Africa, in the world. It's a very popular name, South African Airways, and it carries the pride of the country, and it can still do so if it is handled properly, if it is run by professionals that are good for the job and for purpose of running the airline. So we have a very good brand as South Africa. We should still be supported by the government. And the positives that I can talk about now is that Pravin Gordhan is gone. For now, I hope. Looking at the politics, I don't know, but I hope it's gone for now, which is a positive for the country. It's a positive because now we're hopefully going to get somebody that's going to be able to run and understand that the airline needs to change. The rules and decisions of the airline need to be made instantaneously. You can't take months to make a decision about that, whether you want a strategic partner, whether you want to buy aircraft, those decisions have to be made quickly. When you want to change a CEO, like they're facing right now at South African Airways, they need to change a CEO. It needs to be a quick decision. And you have known for the past 6 months that you're going to be changing a CEO, have that plan ready already. So the airline industry is quick. So with South African Airways, we have a good brand that needs good people to run it. The workers at South African Airways, as we speak right now, they are unhappy, as I said, very unhappy, because there's a lot of things that need to be done for the workers at SAA that have been changed from SAA V1, let's call it for now, version 1 of South African Airways. Now, version 2 is quite different for the workers, and those are the things that you do. We have happy workers, you have management that understand what needs to be done, then you're going to have an airline that can at least fight in this business world, airline business world. Do we have that at South African Airways at the moment? No, we don't, and we don't believe as SACA that we have that at the moment, and we need that. Once we have that, then we'll be stable. And not forgetting, and I'll keep saying this, we should not forget that funding the airline, giving it a bailout it's not a bad thing. It's good to give a bailout to an airline that is run by professionals, that is at least going somewhere, because the environment that they're fighting, it is quite a competitive environment. Sometimes they won't be able to stand there on their own, particularly as they're starting. So thank you so much.